prefer when I win the million to not have to split it with 7 other people. So that's why all of a sudden it'd be 9-way split. Now it's 111 grand a person instead of 125. That's amazing, by the way, for those 8 people. Whoa, Brandon.
How about your picks are just bad?
How many times you won this Brandon, I'm just curious. How many times you won this contest? Because I won it last year for
I just got on the show. I just got on the show.
You were always eligible. You were always eligible, sir. Congrats to those 8 people, though, Jenna.
Yes.
125,000 apiece ain't bad.
You at home could be one of them. Don't forget to download the Fox Sports app. Get your picks in before kickoff, before the Washington-Dallas game on Thanksgiving for your chance to be a part of that Millionaire Club. Again, for much more, head to the Fox Sports app. All right, time now for 4 things first. Brandon, you're up first. You love Sean Payton's timely retweet.
Yeah, a lot of questions going into this game. Taysom Hill played good. In fact, he played better than most quarterbacks given his first start. So Taysom Hill, good job. You proved a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of people on this show as well. But you know who proved more doubters wrong? How about Coach Sean Payton? We need to see more of this. After the game, Coach Sean Payton retweeted Roddy White. He retweeted this guy talking about how great of a job the Falcons are going to do against the Saints because they're starting Taysom Hill, basically. But guess what? They didn't get it done. Sean Payton, great job. We need to see more of this. More head coaches need to give more bulletin board material. I love this.
You know, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, can I do more? And that's what Andy Dalton did. If you look at his good stats here, 203 passing yards, threw for 3 touchdowns. Also, receiving yards, -3. You know, Giselle famously said after a Super Bowl, my husband can't throw the ball and catch the ball. Not true, you can. Andy Dalton with a reception. Problem is, -3 yards. Got to turn that into positive because he actually hurt his own passing yard stats. So when you look into the mirror and say, hey, can I do more? Yes, with a reception, but you got to get those yards after catch.
It's a great take, Wilds. Here's another great take. The Lakers are going to win the title again. I'm not sure why anyone would think anything else. Biggest weakness on the roster last year was the center position. You had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. So how about you add one of the highest scorers off the bench in the league in Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol? What are you going to do without Danny Green? How about you add a younger, cheaper Danny Green, courtesy of the Milwaukee Bucks? Oh, bench scoring. How about Dennis Schroeder? Very, very active weekend for Rob Pelinka. Oh, and KCP is back as well. And it's of the best player in the league and the best big in the league. So Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol go to the Lakers while the Nuggets get worse. The Clippers do very little of anything except for lose Montrez. So props to the Lakers and LeBron on pending ring number 5. More on this developing story tomorrow, Jenna.
All right, well, let's stay in the NBA. I love Donovan Mitchell, one of the brightest, most fun to watch young stars in the NBA. You know who agrees with me? The Utah Jazz. They, in this NBA free agent frenzy, gave him a 5-year, $195 million contract extension. I mean, it's so well-deserved. My issue for such a smart player is some questionable moves he made in this video he posted. I have 3 issues with it. Number 1, takes off his shirt, leaves on his socks to jump in the pool. Number 2, he's got a deep end, tries to dive into the shallow end. That's not smart at all. Number 3, this is supposed to be celebratory. He's in for 1 second. He's already at the other end of the pool trying to get out. What kind of celebration is that? For such a smart, young, bright guy, Donovan Mitchell, buddy, what are you doing? Savor the moment. Utah Jazz savoring the moment. They've got Donovan Mitchell for a long, long time to come. All right.
I'm going to go no deep end.
Back to the NFL Sunday. There was what? Yeah, there was. You weren't looking.
I'm going to say no deep end.
America's Game of the Week. Living up to its billing. Packers, Colts, pack up 14 at the half, but stalled in the second half big time as Phillip Rivers rallied the Colts to force overtime, and a costly fumble doomed the Packers, setting up a Colts field goal to win. Indy, with the win, now improves to 7-3. Packers, with the loss, now fall to 7-3. Nick, I'll start with you. Was this game more about the Colts or the Green Bay Packers?
Oh, it was more about the Packers. And it was just a total, everyone involved second half meltdown. that showed some of the glaring weaknesses on the team. If they win this game, they have the inside track to the 1 seed. Their remaining schedule has one team on it that's above 500. It's a Titans team that I think they match up well against, and they're in really good shape. Instead, they blow a 14-point second-half lead because this is what they do in the second half. 3 and out, fumble on a kickoff return, a turnover on downs, and then even on the drive that resulted in the game-tying field goal, I thought Rodgers made a big mistake that got totally glossed over during the game. He spiked the ball on 1st and 10 with 42 seconds left inside the 15-yard line. They had time. They needed the down. A touchdown is what you're going for there, not a field goal. So everyone made a mistake. You had a wide receiver fumble the ball in overtime in Valdez-Scantling. Shepard fumbled the kickoff return. Offense couldn't get going. And Brandon, they got bullied at the line of scrimmage. They got bullied at the line of scrimmage, not being able to stop the Colts running game and not trusting their own running game. They have a 4th and 1 in a critical moment in the game, the turnover on downs I was referring to. They run a little like almost fade pass to Jamal Williams out of the backfield. Like, so they didn't trust their big people against the Colts' big people. And so I think this is a very, very tough and damaging loss for Green Bay, considering the way they dominated the first half of this football game.
Yeah, and Nick, for me, it's about both teams. And if you actually respected the Colts more and you listened to your buddy Wilds more, your answer would probably be different. For weeks now, Wilds been calling the committee and asking, please, guys, respect the Colts and what they're doing. Like, look, when you look at Wilds, right? But when you look at this game, you know, you got to start with Phillip Rivers. And yeah, you're right. You know, for the last week or two, you've been highlighting his woe, his like where his struggles have been throughout his career. But Phillip Rivers is playing more decisive. He's playing really smart, and he's actually playing with explosion. Like, he's getting that ball out of his hands so fast, and he's so deliberate with what he's doing and all of his movement in the pocket, and that's why this team is trending in the right direction. The defense, we know this defense is one of the better defenses. They're the #1 defense in the league right now. We know that. All they need is Phillip Rivers to not turn the ball over. He had one yesterday, and then there was moments in the game where like, and we're going to get that bad Phillips. But he continued just to get back up and be more consistent. I thought both of these teams played really well, Kevin. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, there were some moments in the game, too, where, you know, the ball could have been going the other way, but both of those guys put their team in position at the end of the game to take control. And that's what we saw. This game come down to the 2-minute drill, and Valdez-Scantling, however you say this young man's name, he has like 3 last names, that was the difference. That's all you want, is to be right in position towards the end of the game, and you can't let this happen. That ride home for this young man was brutal. Just what Nick said, when you have an opportunity to control your own destiny and you let the ball slip out of your hand in this position, this is just brutal. This is all bad, but he'll learn from this.
Okay, so the Colts defense allowed 3 points in the second half in overtime. So if you're a Packers fan and you want to look at the world as glass half full, you'd be like, we made mistakes, we turned the ball over. But if you're a Colts fan, like, you're forcing turnovers. The Colts are now 3rd best in takeaways in the league. And Nick, you know my old character, I don't even have a name for him. Old man committee here. Big fan of the Colts. I think we have to move them up. I told you 2 tiers. If they get to Tampa for the Super Bowl, I think the world would be surprised, but I think we're taking Shocked off the board now. Shocked is off the board. Surprise still on the board, but Shocked should be off the board. Old man Rivers, bolo tie in Tampa. You shouldn't be shocked if you see it. You shouldn't be surprised that the Colts are in and the guy's wearing a bolo tie, but you shouldn't be shocked.
You should be shocked. And here's why. In order for the Colts to make this, I can't believe this, we're talking about this, to make the Super Bowl, Phillip Rivers is going to have to play 3 consecutive clean playoff games. And the issue with Phillip Rivers has never been, can he make the throw?